highlights. Lagos State government to prioritize wetland conservation with new policy. Nigeria Center for Disease Control tightens airport surveillance following confirmation of Ebola outbreak in Uganda. And Florentine car bomb blast in northern Syria kills 15 agricultural workers. And in sports, Nigeria's teenage fencer Wisdom Okonlawo makes international fencing federation training camp in China. And now the details. I am Mike James. The Lagos State government is developing an environmental policy on wetlands and biodiversity to balance development with nature conservation. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources Tokunbo Wahab stated this in a release issued as part of the year 2025 World Wetland Day celebration. Wahab stated that the state government remains committed to protecting wetlands and their biodiversity, stressing that the policy will ensure that all future projects in or around wetlands undergo a comprehensive environmental impact assessment in line with international best practices. Speaking on the 2025 theme, Protecting Wetlands for Our Common Future, Wahab emphasized the need for sustainability concerning wetland usage and exploitation. The commissioner lamented that it is unfortunate that with human activities and migration into Lagos, wetlands have come under increased threats with a loss of over 100 kilometers between 2014 and 2022 owing to urban settlements. He added that the government understands the need for development, but strongly emphasized the need for sustainable development where wetlands are not just overexploited and encroached upon by the strength of one's purchasing power. To deepen leadership capacity and inspire the next generation of change makers, the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy, LGLA, has hosted the Oniru of Iruland, Oba Abdulwasiu Omogbola Lawal, for a thought-provoking fireside chat with its fellows. Oba Oniru, whose distinguished career spans law enforcement, public administration, and traditional leadership, commended the Lagos State government for the establishment of the academy, lauding its vision to groom young leaders dedicated to service and transformation. He emphasized the critical role of youth engagement in governance, stating that the future of Nigeria hinges on the ability of young leaders to take ownership of societal progress. Oba Oniru further highlighted the importance of grassroots and community engagement, urging the fellows to remain deeply rooted in the realities of the people they aspire to serve. The Executive Secretary of LGLA, Aishat Abaje Okwade, expressed profound appreciation to Oba Oniru for his inspiring insights, reinforcing the academy's commitment to preparing leaders who embody integrity, service, and excellence. Agbaje Okwade further urged the fellows to stay focused, committed, and proactive in leveraging the academy's resources, reminding them that leadership is a continuous journey of growth and service. The 6th Division of the Nigerian Army has dismantled 12 illegal refining sites, arrested 16 suspects, and recovered approximately 70,000 liters of stolen petroleum products in the Niger Delta region. Additionally, the Army, in collaboration with other security agencies, demobilized 6 boats and intercepted 9 vandalized pipelines during a week-long operation spanning rivers and 3 other states in the region. Acting Deputy Director of Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Jonah Danjuma, who made this known, said the operations conducted between January 27 and February 2 saw significant success, particularly in Rivers State. Commending the troops for their successes, the General Officer commanding 6th Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Emmanuel Emeka, urged them to sustain their operational tempo to create a conducive environment for legitimate exploration activities. He also emphasized the importance of professionalism and discipline in executing their duties. And now to the rest of the stories. Following the confirmation of an Ebola virus disease outbreak in Uganda, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Preservation, NCDC, has intensified surveillance at the country's point of entry, including airports. The agency also advised Nigerians to avoid non-essential travel to affected countries. In a public health advisory issued by the NCDC Director General Jide Idris, the agency emphasized that there are currently no reported cases of Ebola in Nigeria. While classifying Nigeria's risk level as moderate based on recent risk assessment and the recent Marburg virus outbreak in Rwanda, the NCDC urged healthcare workers to maintain heightened vigilance, ensure strict patient isolation, adhere to infection prevention protocols, and use appropriate protective equipment when managing suspected cases. The NCDC pledged to continue strengthening nationwide surveillance, particularly at borders and airports, while keeping healthcare workers alert for potential cases. The agency is also enhancing laboratory capacities for rapid testing and maintaining coordination with the World Health Organization and the African Regional Health Authorities to monitor developments. It will be recalled that in 2014, Nigeria experienced an Ebola outbreak following the entry of an infected patient, Patrick Sawyer, from Liberia into the country. The Ogun State government has strongly warned residents, particularly contractors working within communities, against damaging water infrastructure, saying individuals found culpable will be arrested and prosecuted. The State Water Corporation, in a statement by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Sustainable Development Goals and Water Resources, Damilola Otunbanjo, condemned deliberate acts of vandalism against basic water infrastructure. Otunbanjo accused contractors of destroying pipelines during road construction without making efforts to replace them. According to her, the corporation is already struggling with aged and deteriorating facilities neglected by successive administrations and is working to rehabilitate and upgrade these infrastructures. Otunbanjo reiterated the corporation's plans to strengthen monitoring and rapid response mechanisms to swiftly address incidents of damage while enhancing public awareness of the issue. And now to foreign news. 15 people, including 14 women, have been killed in a car bomb attack on a vehicle transporting agricultural workers in northern Syria. First responders say another 15 women were wounded by the blast on the outskirts of the city of Manbij, east of Aleppo. According to the Syria Civil Defense, some of the wounded are in a critical condition, warning that the death toll might rise. There is no immediate claim from any armed groups. It is the second deadly car bomb attack in the Manbij area in 3 days. On Saturday, 2 children and a woman were among 4 people killed by an explosion on a street in the city center. And over to sports news. The International Fencing Federation, FEI, has chosen Nigerian teenage fencer Wisdom Okolawo as one of the 5 athletes from 30 African countries to attend a high-performance training camp and compete at the 2025 Cadet and Junior World Championship in Wuxi, China. According to the FEI, the training camp, which takes place from April 1 to 12, is organized in collaboration with Olympic Solidarity and aims to identify and support top talent from across Africa, providing athletics with world-class training and competition opportunities. In a statement issued by the Nigerian Fencing Federation, Okolawo's inclusion in the elite group underscores his remarkable achievement in the sport and his potential to excel at the highest level. After the camp, he will compete at the World Championships from April 13 to 15, where he will face off against the best junior fencers globally. And that was our news at 12. But just before we go, ensure the registration mark on your vehicle is clear and visible at all times. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Watch us live on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch our previous programs and news on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration provided 450,000 pupils with e-learning devices? Well, you can get more details on the Legacy Government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Legacy Government is developing an environmental policy on wetland and biodiversity to balance development with nature conservation. Following the confirmation of an Ebola virus disease outbreak in Uganda, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has intensified surveillance at the country's points of entry, including airports. We also told you that 15 people, including 14 women, have been killed in a car bomb attack on a vehicle transporting agricultural workers in northern Syria. And in sport, the International Fencing Federation, FIA, has chosen Nigerian teenage fencer Wisdom Okolao as one of 5 athletes from 30 African countries to attend the high-performance training camp and compete at the 2025 Cadets and Junior World Championships in Wuxi, China. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagosstate.gov.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbalagun. Thank you for listening, Lagos. My name is Mike James. Good afternoon.